the light. Me and my niggas prepared for the dog. Yeah. So we gon' get it on for the last days, nigga. You already know what it is. 140 for the rebel.
They in the building, we in the spot. We can go to war and see who make it out. Earn your stripes, dog, you with us or not. We can get it on when it's on, it don't never stop. First you get that power, gotta hold it down. Watch your step, boy, you on holy ground. They in the building, we in the spot. We can go to war and see who make it out. It's a problem, tell them pop off. I die for I let my colors fly, boy. For a nigga take me, they a drop dead. AR, clean them up like a mop pig. J. Cool, he bad, he really so tough. They like, damn, look what he did, it really gon' rough. Little bitch think she Kiki Palmer, silly hoe. She know I'm that bull, but I ain't from Philly though. From the city where they sing about that ribbon like petty poops. Know them niggas plotting, gotta deal with me. Can't catch me slipping, got to steal with me. Just left Alabama, bought a chopper from some hillbill move. He made my life feel the blade. Leave them all bruised, come through like a plague. Rebel off the leash like a dog out the cage. Call me Johnny Blaze on One West May. Watch your step get stretched like a limousine. So my brother bring that blade back wet, that's by any means. Little nigga, this that cult, need to talk. Niggas know I got blood in my cup, I just sip it like it's grenadine. They in the building, we in the spot. We can go to war, let's see who make it out. Earn your stripes, dog, you with us or not. We can get it on when it's on, it don't never stop. First you get that power, gotta hold it down. Watch your step, boy, you on holy ground. They in the building, we in the spot. We can go to war, let's see who make it out. Tell them niggas good night, here come the bitch. Look, told them niggas get right or get left. UPK, bad man, I pin to your flesh. Hellboy, rip the soul out of dead man shit. Got the rate, the power, I been the showstopper. Yeah, they might hate, but I know they gon' watch. Zone on lock, and you know the flow prop. Iced out, got the drip out of David Jones lock. Know I got the plan, they say that you the man. No shit, Sherlock, I'm the one you heard about. Burn down the building, let them all watch. Throw that One West up, then I swerve. Sick with this shit, I do not need a detox. He don't watch a step, blow him out them Reeboks. We taking over, I'm sending the word out. Can't see me, little nigga, I put you in a bird box. Look, it's One West practical, gladiator, maximal. Creep on them slow, but that Glock fire rapid. All I want is more power, more straps to blow. Ain't got excuse for no cow, he gon' have to go. They in the building, we in the spot. We can go to war and see who make it out. Earn your stripes, dog, you with us or not. We can get it on when it's on, it don't never stop. First you get that power, gotta hold it down. Watch your step, boy, you on holy ground. They in the building, we in the spot. We can go to war, let's see who make it out.
Hey, Shalom Israel. All right, this is the ISUPK Wednesday history class. Any questions, just type them in the chat. We'll get into them. Also, remember to check out Commanding General Yohanna's radio show, which is 2 a.m. UK time. Check out the radio show. We also have classes here in the UK, Monday through Friday. Monday is the law class. Tuesday, the brotherhood class. Wednesday, the history class. Thursday, the scripture breakdown class. Friday, the Lashwan Kodash and the On the Ends radio show. Saturday, Sabbath service and Lord Allow camp. So now that's the schedule we got in the UK. We got a busy schedule, man. So contact the school, come on down, get in the classes, put an old black D 90 days, come and trooper in the school and so forth. Come and put your brick in for this nation, man. Put a brick in for this nation.
That's right.
Today we're going to go into the Anglo Saxons, the rise and fall of them. We're going to go into medieval Europe. Hopefully we got enough time. We're going to go into medieval Europe, the Anglo Saxons. So we're going to go into that, a continuation of, was it last week or the week before? What did we go into last week?
We're using the Druids, sir. Talking about the Druids and World War I and II, Slovakia.
So the week before what? So we went into the Celtic people. So now this is a continuation. So who was let's see if anyone remembers who was the Celtic people?
They were the British, right? No, the Welsh.
Yeah, but who would they be according to the Bible?
They would be the Israelites according to the Bible, sir.
So I can say that again, Benjamin.
It would be the Israelites according to the Bible.
La'ah, the Celts
No.
wasn't Israelites.
Who are they? The Celts, right?
Okay.
Oh, were
Yeah.
they the Japhet? Is it Japhet?
Yes.
God.
Yes.
That's right.
So they were the Japhetic people, the Druids and the Celts. The Celts was the people, and the Druids was like the priests of the Celts. So they was all Japhetic people. Now, who went? Let's see if anyone remembers. Who went to Britain and ruled over the Celts before the Anglo Saxons was there?
We did Israelites.
La'ah before that.
Or before that.
The Romans, sir.
Yes, there you go, the Romans. So now the Romans in some BC, they went there under Julius Caesar. So the Romans was ruling over them. And then the Celts learned Roman ways, the Romans learned Celtic ways. So now today, this is a continuation. So now, how did the Roman Empire leave? Why did the Roman Empire leave in Britain?
Sir?
So why did the Roman Empire leave Britain? Because this goes into the fall of the Roman Empire. Because at one stage the Roman Empire was all powerful.
Well, was it us that defeated the Romans, sir?
Basically, to some degree. But what happened is with the Romans, now they had to, the ones that was in Britain, they had to leave Britain because why? Italy was being attacked. So they was told, return back to Italy. So they said to the Celtic people, don't worry, we're going to be back. So they then left and then they returned to Rome and they was fighting there, but they never ever returned back to England. So that left a gap in what you know as England today. Once the Roman Empire fell, that left a gap in all these European countries for other nationalities to come in. So now on the Emperor Honorius, let me see if we can screen share it. So this was the Roman general at the time who called them to come back to Rome. Hold on. Honorius, hold on. What's wrong with this? I ain't donating. I'm never donating no money. I'm donating money. Hold on, wait a minute. For some reason this ain't letting me scroll down.
Okay.
Hold on, wait a minute. Let me Google it another way. Yeah, so this is what I need. All right, let me pull it now. So now this is called end of Roman rule in Britain. So this is what you need to understand it. The internet's messing about today. What's all this? Maybe later. All right, let me see if it works now. Hold on, bear with me. The internet's doing something. Bear with me, hold on. All right, this might be. Nah, for some reason this ain't letting me pull it up. Hold on. Is anyone able to pull it up on their phone? See if you can pull me up the end of Roman rule in Britain. Nah, I'm having no luck with the damn.
Yeah, Wikipedia, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, what's this? Lucky.
Are you getting the same thing?
Yeah. Hold on.
Pound thing.
Just one. Okay, it's gone now. The end of Roman rule in Britain was the transition from Roman Britain to post-Roman Britain.
So now it was from Roman Britain to post-Roman Britain. They used to call it Romano Britain. Now the original Britons was the Japhetic people. That's what they called themselves, the Britons, and they had a king. So he was called the King of the Britons. Go ahead.
Kudwan Khan. Roman rule ended in different parts of Britain at different times.
So it ended in different parts of Britain at different times because the Romans was dominating, they was ruling. So now it's going to let you know the different times where it ended. Go ahead.
Kudwan Khan. And under different circumstances.
Under different circumstances, go ahead.
In 383, the usurper Magnesius Maximus withdrew troops from northern and western Britain.
He did what?
Withdrew troops from northern and western Britain.
So he withdrew troops.
Khan, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
Khan. Probably.
Okay, hold on. Banyan, if I send you some pages out of this book, are you able to read them? Have you got your phone on you to read them?
Canada on Khan, sir.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna send them to you by WhatsApp now. Yeah, go ahead, Hakan.
Khan, sir.
Khan, sir. Probably leaving local warlords in charge. In 407, usurper Constantine III took the remaining mobile Roman soldiers to Gaul in response to the crossing of the Rhine in late 406.
So now this is before the Saxons came, because the Saxons came in around 449 AD. So that's when the Saxons originally came to England. But before that, there's two brothers that came first. So after Rome left, now the Japhetic people was being attacked by the Picts. So the Picts was who? Japhetic people who lived in like Scotland. So they were the Picts. So the Picts was attacking house. They was getting attacked from everywhere, and then they needed help. They reached out for the Romans for help. What did the Romans do? The Romans didn't help them. Why? Because the Romans had battles going on in Italy. So then, because the Romans couldn't help them, I believe his name was King Vortigern was one of them Japhetic kings. So who did he reach out to? He reached out to the Angles, man, the Anglo Saxons for help. And then we came in and for them. Is there any more on that again?
Yeah, there's quite a little bit left here, Khan.
Yeah, go ahead.
The crossing of the Rhine in late 406, leaving the island a victim to barbarian attacks.
Leaving the island a victim to barbarian attacks. So now, what's the barbarian?
Probably us, right, sir?
Well, basically, a barbarian, anybody not belonging to the Roman Empire or who's not a Christian or whatnot.
Right.
So a barbarian could have been anyone. So they would have called us barbarians at this time. Why? Because what religion was the Anglo Saxons?
But they're not Catholic.
No, they were pagans at this time.
Oh, right. Okay.
So at this time, the Anglo Saxons was running around telling people they're a descendant of Woden, one of them fake gods. So they believed in all kinds of nonsense before, obviously, later on they converted to Christianity. But originally, the Saxons were pagans.
Right.
So just remember, there wasn't in the truth. There's just niggas that weren't in the truth.
Oh, right. Okay. Right.
Oh yeah, the Anglo-Saxons weren't in the truth. There was just pagans in the beginning.
Right.
So don't be surprised when you see there's some weird practices that they had, because they was just like any black man today that believes is something other than what he is.
Right. Okay. They were just lost brothers then. Yeah.
Yeah. There any
Can't-
more, or is that about
Yeah,
it?
yeah. Well, there's some more. I don't know how much you want me to read. There's a little bit more, sir. I mean,
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, Kadwan Khan. Around 410, Romano British expelled the Roman magistrate from Britain. Roman Empire, Honorus
Yeah, that's
replied,
the one.
yeah. Roman Emperor Honorus replied to a request for assistance with the rescript of Honorus, telling the Roman cities to see to their own defense.
So now he told them they need to see to their own defense. So once he left Britain, he told the Japhetic people, yo, you need to see to your own defense. Go ahead.
Kadwan Khan, a tacit acceptance of temporary British self-government, Honorus was fighting a large-scale war in Italy against the Visigoths. Salakia.
So now he was fighting a war in Italy, and he needed all his troops out of England. So once they left England, because he had to call his troops home. So after this was like once the Roman Empire began to fall. Why? Because it was being attacked from the north to east to west. Everywhere they was being attacked, which was opening up land for everybody else. So once they was being attacked, they was leaving some of their strongest citizens saying, you know what, we need to go protect Italy. So they went to protect Italy. Hold what you got, Hakim, but Benjamin, read what you're holding for me. So now we're in the book of, this book is called the Oxford Illustrated History of Medieval Europe.
So okay, sir. It's showing a picture. Would you like to show it to the screen, or?
No, I don't even need the picture, just the writing. Yeah.
Canada one can. It reads, the picture changed dramatically in a very few years. Various Germanic peoples, notably the Vandals, Burgundians, and Sueves, crossed the Rhine into Gaul in the winter of 406 to 407, possibly fleeing the Huns. Asiatic nomads who were extending their domination over much of the area north of the Danube. At this time, a general called Constantine, appointed emperor by the Roman troops in Britain, just as Constantine the Great had been a century earlier, brought most of his army across the Channel to deal with the barbarians in Gaul. When Saxons attacked Britain in 408, they were hardly...
It says the Saxons attacked Britain in 408. Go ahead.
When Saxons attacked Britain in 408, there were hardly any Roman soldiers left to defend it. The Emperor Honorius was forced to concede British civilians the right to take up arms for self-defense.
And now he told them they need to take up arms for self-defense. So now he said to the Japhetic people, yo, you need to defend yourself. We cannot do it for you. Go ahead.
No doubt, thinking that Roman authority could be reasserted once the crisis had passed. As such crisis always had done before.
They thought once the crisis passed, the Romans could come back and they was going to take the land back. But it didn't work like that. At this stage, they never returned. Go ahead.
As such crisis always had done before. This made it impossible for the Roman Slovakia. This crisis, however, was different. Continuing political problems on the continent made it impossible for the empire to concern itself again with Britain.
Go ahead.
There begins a period of nearly 2 centuries when historians can know very little about what was happening north of the Channel. The few sources are all ambiguous, difficult to interpret, and infuriatingly elusive. And the archaeological evidence, Salakia, sir?
Go ahead.
And the archaeological evidence which exists in relative abundance can only with great difficulty and caution be used to illustrate historical events. But certain facts and many speculations emerge. Roman Britain before and after 410 was
so
attacked.
Let you know about Roman Britain. Keep reading, Banyamin. I'm just going to send you 2 more pages. Hold on.
Cancel.
I'm trying to just get
Roman Britain before and after 410 was attacked from 3 sides.
So now it's letting you know Roman Britain was attacked from 3 sides. So Roman Britain was attacked from 3 sides. Now it's going to let you know which 3 sides it was attacked from. Go ahead.
From the north by the Irish, from the west.
From the north by the Irish. Go ahead.
From the west by various Germanic peoples from the east and south.
So it was attacked by Germanic peoples. So now the Anglo Saxons and these other people that are called barbarians was attacking the Romans. So now the Romans, there was attacking the Romans. There was also attacking the Japhetic people. Go ahead, read the next ones that I sent you. Just read the highlighted parts. So now I'm going to get into the first Saxons, which came.
The tradition in Britain was that the first Saxons, Hengist and Horsa, had been invited.
The first Saxons called Hengist and Horsa. Now, obviously, nowadays they try and say that Horsa didn't exist. They try to say, oh, he was added later on. But these was 2 Anglo-Saxon brothers that came and fought for the Picts. So, fought for Japhet. So they came under the king Vortigern. Hold on one second. Keep reading. I'm gonna send you a page to read from Haki.
And Salakia, sir, if I may. So these Saxons here that were helping, did you say the Pigots?
No, they were helping the Japhetic people.
They were Israelites, right?
Yeah. There was Anglo-Saxons. These was the first 2 that came.
Salakia, sir, if I may, why did they call them Anglo-Saxons, blacks? Was it?
Why did they call them Anglo-Saxons?
Khan, Salakia.
Because now some people say angelic sons of Isaac, but what the oppressor says is they call them Saxons and Angles. Why? Because of where they lived in Germany. So they called them after their cities in Germany.
Right, Khan.
So they also named them after the weapons. They used to use a weapon called, I believe it was called the Saxon, which was like a knife. So because they was good with that Saxon, they called them Saxons. Because they was from somewhere in Germany with that name, they called them Angles and so forth.
Is it possible they could have been Benjamites?
Well, this could have been Benjamin, Judah, or Levi. So this would have been what would have happened is these would have been the brothers who was displaced by the Roman Empire. So now the reason these ones weren't in the truth, why? Because the ones which wasn't the truth, they listened to Christ and fled Jerusalem and ran into Africa. These ones here stayed living in Roman provinces because they didn't believe anyway. So that's why that's how some of them ended up in Europe and some of them ended up in West Africa. So there's some that fled into West Africa, fleeing from Roman persecution. because they was Jews, Israelites keeping the laws. They knew who there was. And then those other ones which was chilling. They didn't consider themselves Israelites. They didn't care. So they just stayed all around Europe. And then those is the ones which came into England.
Right.
So they would be the ones. So that's how they got into Europe.
Right. Got you, sir. The water to that. Appreciate it.
Go ahead, Benjamin. Go ahead, Benjamin. What you can say?
So is it safe to say that? Sir. I was saying, so we wouldn't say that the Saxon is we wouldn't call him from Isaac's son, as what people.
Nah, you could, because they are descendants of Isaac. No, but while it is, I'm just giving you the term that the oppressor uses why they call them Anglo Saxons. So they will also tell you that at the time the Anglo Saxons didn't call themselves Anglo Saxons. They will tell you other people called them that. So other people that was in neighboring cities to differentiate amongst the people, they called them these kind of names. So they gave them other names. They called some of them the Jutes, the Frisians. They was all called different things. Some brothers they called the Danes. So if you're from Denmark, you would be considered a Dane.
Right.
If you're from so all these different names. It was a group of people that were all the same, but based on where they was living, they called them different things.
Same as us today, sir. Right?
Yes.
English.
Like today, we call ourselves different things. Some brothers, you say, yo, he's Jamaican. Some brothers say he's Bajan. When really they're all just Israelites.
So
over time, once you start moving to a certain region, you start calling yourself certain different things. Go ahead, Benjamin.
The tradition in Britain was that the first Saxons, Hengist and Horsa, had been invited in as mercenaries by a British leader. And
so now they was invited in by a British leader called Vote Again. Hold that there, Benjamin. Hold that. Haki, and read the one that I sent to you.
What, on my phone, sir?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's on. Just read the part where it says 446. So this is what happened in the year 446.
Khan, 400 and Slaki. So where did you want me to read the one? 400 and
you know where it says 446.
Khan, sir.
It should be at the bottom of the page.
Yeah, could on Khan. The British men, Salakia, the British sent men over the seas to Rome and asked for help against the Picts. But they never.
Now the read that again.
The British sent men over the sea to Rome and asked for help against the Picts, but they never had it.
So now they sent men to Rome and they asked for help against the Picts. But what like we said it earlier, why didn't the Romans help them?
Because Romans had Salakia. Do you want to go, Benjamin? Salakia.
Because the Romans they needed to protect Italy and Rome, and they thought that once they done that, they could come back and regain back control over Britain.
Yes, so that's exactly what happened. So they was getting attacked by the Picts. So the king of Britain sent for men to come from Rome and help him fight. Obviously, Rome didn't help him fight, because obviously they was busy. Go ahead, read on Hakayan.
Because they were on the expedition against King Attila and the Hun.
So now they was already in fighting. Go ahead.
Salakia, so you're cutting out a little bit. Salakia.
I'm sounding like now.
Yeah, you're good, but the screen is kind of frozen and it's
going
a bit
now.
slow. No, not right this minute, no, but it does go in and out.
It's probably this internet. It says connection unstable. So okay.
All right. Come on. They sent them to the Angles and the Anglican Athelings with the same request.
So now they sent the same request to the Angles. So they sent the same request to the Anglo Saxons. Go ahead.
That's it, sir, on that one.
That's it. All right, Benjamin, go back to what you was reading.
Canada one can.
So now what we just read was out of the Chronicles of the Anglo Saxons. So they sent the same request to the Anglo Saxons. So now we're going to pick it up in the medieval history of Europe. Go ahead.
Canada one can. Been invited in as mercenaries by a British leader and had then rebelled.
These men were called in to fight for the Japhetic people. Go ahead.
And had then rebelled and set up their own kingdom in eastern Britain.
And the Anglo-Saxons did what? They rebelled, man.
This is a simplified version.
So they rebelled and they set up their own kingdom. They said, damn this, why are we fighting for these people? Let's set up our kingdom in their land. So that's what they did. Go ahead.
This is a simplified version of what happened in the case of several German peoples on the continent.
So now this is it's letting you know, it's giving you a quick rundown. Go ahead.
And it is not impossible that it happened in Britain. But the very fact...
Go to the next one I sent, yeah? For time's sake, go to the next one.
Canada one can. Northumberland suggests that the incoming Angles took over a pre-existing British political center and used it as their own. The Anglian kings in Bernicia, Northumberland, and Durham.
So now this is all English cities. Go ahead.
And Deira, Yorkshire, both words of Celtic origin.
So now there's tons of words which is of Celtic origin. Like what you find throughout England, tons of words is of Celtic origin, Anglo-Saxon origin, Norse origin, Dane origin, because obviously those are the people that was here in the early stages. Go ahead.
Canada one can. Must have ruled kingdoms whose population were largely British, and some
so
British...
the ruled kingdoms who was largely British, so they started ruling over them Celts. Go ahead.
And some British or Roman traditions may have survived.
Go ahead.
But further south, so okay, sir.
No, sir.
But further south, where the bulk of the Anglo-Saxon settlement took place, it is unlikely that much remained of the Roman way of life.
So now you said it's unlikely that much remained of the Roman way of life. Why? Because these Angles couldn't stand the Romans, man. They used to burn down their cities and so forth. They burned down them Roman cities and was killing them. Go ahead.
Canada one can. Towns disappeared if they had not already done so earlier in the 3rd or 4th centuries. And so did the new religion of the Roman Empire, Christianity.
And the Anglo-Saxons got rid of that Roman Empire Christianity. They came and got rid of that straight away, man. Go ahead.
The fate of the descendants of the Roman civilians of Britain was varied.
Now, this part's important. This is letting you know the fate of the Roman citizens. Because remember, them Romans had family, right? They had children, they had wives. Not all of them was warriors. So once they moved to certain places, they would take their family with them. Once the Roman Empire fell, now this is letting you know the fate of the Roman Empire and its citizens. Go ahead.
Of Britain was varied. Many were enslaved, or at least ruled by...
Many were what?
Were enslaved, or at least ruled by the barbarian newcomers.
What does that mean?
Okay, the barbarian newcomers, I believe, were the people that wasn't following anybody that wasn't following Rome's, right?
That's what they would call barbarians, but these barbarians were Israelites here.
Right. Okay. And they basically we enslaved. Is that the Dark Ages we're talking about here?
Exactly. This is exactly what it's talking about. This is how the white man up in slavery. This is how it ended up in slavery. During the fall of Rome, the civilians that stayed, the citizens of Rome, the barbarians enslaved them. This is when white people ended up in slavery. So when people tell you, "Oh, the white man's never been in slavery," or his or they believe that they're all great and they're all high up, not according to this, because this says the Roman citizens was enslaved by the barbarians, man. And we was those barbarians that enslaved these Edomites, man. And this is why they call it the Dark Ages, because they was enslaved, and this was they call it medieval Europe and all of those things. Why? Because this was a hard time for them. Imagine barbarians is ruling over you, man, and the barbarians was niggas, man, and they was enslaved. They was enslaved, and we had them in slavery, man. And this is in the Bible. So lucky Haki and get me Revelations chapter 20 and verse 1.
Constant.
So now it says that Benjamin, read that again.
Yeah.
Another one, sir. The fate
Listen,
of the
I like
descendants.
hearing that part. I ask you to read it multiple times just because I like hearing that. It's music to my ears. So lucky.
That's right.
It's the best thing I've heard all day.
That's right.
And I look at these Edomites like, damn, I was an Anglo Saxon one day and you was a slavery, man. I look at them like, damn, one day I was a barbarian and you was enslaved under me. Read it again. Go ahead, Benjamin.
The fate of the descendants of the Roman civilians
the fate of the descendants of the Roman civilians. So all these people that worship Rome and these Edomites that was living there, who the Romans then left to go back and fight Italy, and kiss their wife goodbye and kiss their babies goodbye and said, "Don't worry, we're coming back." They never came back, man. So what happened to the people? They became our slaves, man. They became enslaved by us. And this is why you have the Dark Ages. And this is how you know it was black people. Go ahead.
Where are we reading from? Where is this? Where's Benjamin reading again, Salakia, sir?
He's reading from the book of medieval Europe.
The fate of the descendants of the Roman civilians of Britain was varied. Many were enslaved or at least ruled by the barbarian newcomers.
And now it says many were enslaved or ruled by the barbarian newcomers, and they was ruled by us. You know why? Because what did the Anglo Saxons do? They set up the court of laws. They had earls. They had viscounts. I think it's called a viscount. How do you pronounce it? It's not a viscount. It's pronounced viscount or something. They had barons. They had all of those kind of things. So we was ruling class. We was the lawyers, the solicitors. We was everything, man. Because the Anglo-Saxons came and they transformed Britain. And this is how they transformed Britain. This is how black people became to rule. Because why the Romans left, and then we just ruled over everyone that was there. They became our slaves. So I can read, hold that, Benjamin, but read Revelations chapter 20 and 1 for me.
Khan, Revelations 20, verse 1. And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and the great chain.
Calls it the bottomless pit. Why? If something has no bottom, that means there's no depths to how low it is. This oppressor was so low, and an angel came down having the keys to the bottomless pit. Go ahead.
Khan. And he laid hold on the dragon.
So give me that part and a great chain in his hand.
Khan, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand.
So this time, man. An angel came down and he had a great chain in his hand. This is what John's seen in the vision. But in real life, how this played out is we enslaved them Edomites, man.
God damn.
The Lord used us to enslave them Edomites. Now, in the spiritual world, in John's vision, John's seen it as an angel came down with a great chain. Now, what do you do with a chain? You lock somebody up, man. With this chain, we lock them devils up, man. And what Benjamin's reading is what actually was playing out. So this is John's vision. What Benjamin's reading in the history book is what was playing out. Go ahead, Hakeem.
That old serpent, which is
give me from the top of verse 2.
Khan, sir. So Revelation 20, verse 1. And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand.
Go ahead.
And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent.
And laid hold on the dragon. And what John's seen in this vision is what actually happened in what we're reading, man. They laid hold on the dragon and ruled over them, man. Read on.
Khan. Which is the devil.
Which is the devil. Them Anglo Saxons got rid of his religion, got rid of him, attacked them, chained up their children, enslaved them, man, and put them in their rightful position beneath us where they're supposed to be.
Most High in Christ.
They put them where they're supposed to be. So now what we're reading in Revelations 20 is what Benjamin was reading in the history book of how it actually went down.
Right. That's a precept then, kind of thing.
There you go. That's the Bible meets history right there.
That's right.
That is. That's the Bible and history saying the same thing. Because in the Bible it's saying the chained up the dragon, and what we're reading it says the Roman citizens became slaves.
That's right.
And we ruled over them. And the Dark Ages was 1,000 years. In Revelations it says they can't deceive the nations for 1,000 years. It's the same thing.
And Satan and bound him 1,000 years.
And they was in chains for 1,000 years, man. All throughout the Dark Ages, while we had all them black kings, them black noble families. This man was underneath us for 1,000 years. This man was living in caves, man. This man was the wild man. Back then they would call him the wild man. And the wild man was hairy. Now, obviously, what happened is once they started to get rid of history, they started to say the wild man was a myth. That's what they started to say.
What was that, sir?
They said the wild man was a myth and it's not true.
All right, Khan. Okay.
Because back then there was a thing called the wild man. So once they rose back up to power, after they came out of this bottomless pit, they started to rewrite history. And then they started making movies. When really Bigfoot was how Edomites was, man. A hairy man. Right. A hairy man living in the wild. And when you look up hold on. Let me see if I can find it. And this is what they call him. See, now they say it's a mythical figure. They used to call him the wood walls, which means a man that dwells in the wood. And now he said it's a myth. Can you see that? Is the screen shared all
it's slow, but it's coming.
Yeah. All right. So here it says the wild man of the woods or wood walls. Wood walls is a mythical figure, a motif that appears in the art and literature of medieval Europe, comparable to the satire of faun type in classical mythology. And so now. See what this man appeared in the medieval era, and who was ruling during the medieval era?
We was
exactly, and now that's why it appeared because we called him the wild man. Once he came to power, he said the wild man no longer exists. Now let's look at the wild man. You're telling me the wild man don't look like an Edomite? Hold on. They said the wild man was hairy. Look at that. Oh, it's
can you make it a bit bigger, the one, if you could, sir?
What is it? Can you see it?
Yeah, we can see, but we can't really see no features, really. I can't from this side.
There's a way to zoom. I can't remember how to do it.
Control plus, sir.
Control plus.
So, for one day, you tell me this all the time. I keep forgetting. Benjamin be telling me this all the time. I was thinking this nigga's hard of hearing. So luck, yeah. I'm trying to find the control button. Where's the control button at?
Bottom
yeah,
left.
I found it. All right, control. Where's the plus? Listen, this ain't my forte. So luck, yeah. Bear with me. Oh, there you go. For some reason, this ain't let me zoom in. Hold on.
Yeah, it does look like
you see it?
I can see it, yeah.
And they was hairy. Back then, they said the wild man, the hairy man that lives in the woods, that clubs people over the head like a Flintstone man. And that was who they was. So once they rose to power, they didn't like it. So what did they do? Changed it and said, that's a myth. Changed it and said the wild man was a myth. Once they rose to power, because they didn't want to be associated with it. But now there's history of the wild man attacking castles in real life. The wild man was attacking castles in real life. I ain't even got the book with me. He used to attack German castles. He used to come out of the woods and attack German castles. So the wild man was a real thing. But obviously, they would say it's a myth, so you don't research it. So, Lucky, go ahead, Lucky. Where was it?
Lucky, I was just gonna say, so they've had us in slavery for what, 400 years plus, probably a bit more now. But we had them in rulership. We were ruling longer than they ruled us, right? At the moment.
Yeah. 1,000 years. But was also some Edomite families that was doing okay. Not all of them was poor. But nevertheless, we were still the ruling class. We were still that royal noble family. We were still ruling France, Spain, all of them places. So
and
we were still ruling over all of those things. So like you say that again.
Like you, sir. So they've wiped all that history out of the books. Is there anywhere we can find that?
Yes.
Oh, is there? Okay.
Listen, you know I got the books. So lucky.
I know you're the guy, man. I know you are.
Listen, I got them books, but I don't think I brought that one with me today because while it is, I was gonna do that in a whole separate class.
Okay.
So I ain't even brought that book today.
All right.
But
all right.
Go ahead. Where was the revelation? Go ahead.
Verse 3, and cast him into the bottomless pit.
And this man was cast into the bottomless pit, and we ruled over them. Man. They had a chain on. They was in the pit, and this is what John's seeing in his vision. Go ahead.
Khan, and shut him up, and sent a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more.
And they put a seal on him that he should deceive the nations no more. That's how the Anglo Saxons got rid of his Christianity, man. Said, yo, take that with you, man. Burnt down their Roman towns, burnt down their Roman villages. They said, yo, take that with you, man. Burnt down all of that. So, like Benjamin, go back to what you were holding.
Canada one can, sir. So it reads, again, the Anglian kings in Bernicia, Northumberland, and Durham, and Dera, Yorkshire, both words of Celtic origin, must have ruled kingdoms whose populations were largely British, and the bulk of the Anglo-Saxon settlement took place. It is unlikely.
The bulk of the Anglo-Saxon settlement took place. Go ahead. So now this is where the Anglo-Saxons settled. So now the Anglo-Saxons, they had like they ruled like 7 kingdoms. We're gonna get to that in a bit. They called it the Heptarchy. So they ruled over parts of England that you see today. Go ahead.
It is unlikely that much remained of the Roman way of life.
Listen, man. They set a seal on them that they should deceive the nations no more, and nothing remained of the Roman life. Go ahead.
Towns disappeared.
What? Say that again.
Oh.
Towns disappeared.
The Roman towns disappeared. Hold on. Hold on. Yeah, go ahead.
So lucky, I think I'm just realizing that I've read that bit already, sir. So
oh yeah, no sir.
If I jump down to the second paragraph, the fate of the descendants of the Roman civilians of Britain was varied. Many were enslaved or at least ruled by the barbarian newcomers.
Listen, man, them devils was enslaved and was ruled by us. Go ahead.
Others lived in various independent kingdoms in the West. These the Anglo-Saxons called Welsh.
They're called Welsh. Now, Welsh meant a foreigner. So they would call them Welsh because that's what Welsh means. Welsh originally meant a foreigner. Today, Welsh just come from Wales. But now the Anglo-Saxons would call a man Welsh. Even if it was a black man from that's foreign, they'd call him Welsh. So there was 2 different kinds of Welsh. There was the Welsh that was heathens, and there was a Welsh that was Israelites. I'm gonna get to that later on. So okay, go ahead.
called Welsh, their word for foreigners. But other Britons took part in a migration of their own
And now
to
they took
what
part in the migration. Go ahead.
to what subsequently became known as Brittany.
Go ahead.
Whether the Britons were invited by the Roman authorities to keep their order in that area, which had revolted against the Romans at least twice in the 5th century, whether they were invited by the rebels or whether they simply came as refugees, it cannot now be said. But the establishment of Brittany, or Lesser Britain, as it came to be known in the Middle Ages, distinguishing it from Great Britain, ensured that throughout most of the Middle Ages, this Celtic-speaking province pursued a fiercely independent policy. Even in those periods of nominal Frankish rule, the Britons kept their own rulers.
Now the Britons kept their own rulers. Go ahead. Hold on. Let me send you. Hold on. Let me send this one to Hakian. Go ahead, Benjamin. What part you at? Go ahead.
I'm just under the highlighted section, sir.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Britons kept their own rulers, whom the Franks called counts, but whom the Britons themselves have doubt regarded as their kings. As how the Britons themselves no doubt regarded as their kings.
So now the Britain, they called them nothing, but the Britons regarded them as their kings. Now Hakian, get I sent you a next one from the Anglo Saxon Chronicles. It should be 449. I sent you another one to read after that.
449. Okay.
Yeah. So
now we're
gonna go back.
Salakia, sir. Is that the Salakia, sir? Is that the highlighted one? Do you want me to read?
The other one, then the highlighted one.
Oh, Khan.
So now what we're gonna show you is now we're gonna go back to Hengist the horse, because obviously it says that they turned on the king of the Britons. So now we're gonna show you what actually happened. Go ahead.
Salakia, is it 449? Yeah.
Yeah, 449. And hold on, Benjamin, you get me. Hold on, let me see if get me Numbers chapter 13 and 1.
Come, sir.
Martinius and Valentinian received the kingdom and reigned for 7 years. In their days, the Angles were invited here by King Vortigern.
So now this is another book saying that the Angles was invited here by King Vortigern. Go ahead.
Karawan Khan. And they then came to Britain in 3 long ships.
So now the men that came to fight, they came to Britain in 3 long ships. They came in some 3 long ships. Go ahead. I believe the ships carried about 14 people, they say, on each ship, I believe. Go ahead.
Khan. Landing at Bebi's fleet. King Vortigern gave them territory in the southeast of this land on the condition that they fight the Picts.
And he gave them land on condition that they fight the Picts. So now he gave them land on condition that they fight the Picts. Go ahead.
Karawan Khan. This they did and had victory wherever they went.
And gave them, read that part one more time.
Karawan Khan. Landing at Bebi's fleet, King Vortigern gave them territory in the southeast of this land.
So he gave the Saxons territory in the southeast. So Hengist and Horsa came, and they came with 3 ships and warriors with them. He gave them land. Go ahead.
Karawan Khan. On the condition that they fight the Picts.
On the condition that they fight the Picts. So the Picts was up there by Scotland. Go ahead.
This they did. and had victory wherever they went.
And now the Saxons, they fought the Picts and they had victory wherever they went. They was whooping them Picts, man. Go ahead.
Can't answer. They then sent to was it Angels? Angels. They then Salakia? Angle, yeah?
Angles, go ahead.
Angle, right. They then sent to Angle, commanded worthlessness, Salakia, commanded them more aid, and commanded that they should be told of the Britons' worthlessness.
And now the Saxons, they realized that these British people are weak people. They said, yo, we should write back home and tell them of these lots worthlessness. So Hengist and Horsa, they're there and they're looking around like, damn, the people that we're fighting for, we could take their land if we want, man. What's stopping us? They looked at it like, yo, these are weak people. We could take their land. Go ahead.
Khan.
So now, they're looking up the land. They're looking at the land, and they're looking at it saying, yo, we could take this. Now, what scripture does that remind you of in the Bible?
Oh.
That's us taking the land of Israel, sir.
I need more than that.
But take them and bring them to our place. Is that the one?
No? So just think these that are here in, just think these are in, I don't want to give it to you, but just think these that are in England and they're looking up and down and they're observing it. What does this remind you of?
Any clues, sir? Any clues?
All right, let me give it to you for time's sake.
I got it, sir. And this is
you
what
got it because you got the scripture. That's why.
I mean, they can't cheat, you know.
No, I would have got there. I would have got there with Joshua, sir.
There you go. So now this, like Benjamin said, Joshua, this right here is like when brothers in Israel went to spy out the land, man. They went to spy out the land, see what the land's like, to see who's in there, see what the land's like. And Hengist and Horsa did the same thing. The difference is they spied out Britain, man. They said, damn, these are weak people, man. We can take this land. Same thing that Hengist and Horsa did. Go ahead, Hakayan.
So like, was I supposed to carry on reading, yeah?
Yeah, go ahead.
Carry on, Khan. So like, yeah. They soon sent hither a greater host to help the others.
So now they didn't sit down. Let's go get more people from back home, man. Let's go get more Anglo Saxons to bring them over here. Because they said we could take this land. Go ahead.
Then came the men of 3 Germanic tribes.
Then came the men of 3 Germanic tribes, man. They started coming in heavy. Go ahead.
Khan. Old Saxon Angles and Jutes. Of the Jutes come the people of Kent and the Isles of Wight.
So now it's letting you know, obviously, where they settled once it was in England. Go ahead.
That is the tribe which now lives on Wight, and that race among the West Saxons, which men even now called Jutish.
And they called them Jutish. So now they was all called different things, but they're all the same people. Go ahead.
Israelites, can't you?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Of the Old Saxons come the East Saxons, South Saxons, and West Saxons. Of the Angles, the country they left has since stood empty between the Jutes and the Saxons.
Go ahead.
Come the East Anglians, Middle Anglians, Mercians, and all the North Cumbrians. Their war leaders were 2 brothers, Hengist and Horsa.
So their war leaders was 2 brothers, Hengist and Horsa. So that was their 2 war leaders. Go ahead.
Salakia, the Angles war leaders, right?
Yeah. So these brothers was Anglo Saxons, and these were the two leaders, Hengist and Hosea.
Khan, who were Salakia? What does it say?
Whitgills.
Whitgills, Salakia. Whitgills' sons. First of all, they killed and drove away the king's enemies.
They killed and drove away the king's enemies. So now they killed and drove away the Picts in the beginning. They killed and drove away the Picts. Go ahead.
Quran Khan. Then later they turned. Then later they turned on the king and the British.
So then later they turned on the king and the British, man. They turned on the king. They turned on Vought again, and they turned on the Japhetic people. Go ahead.
Khan, destroying through fire and the sword's edge.
Listen, man, them Anglo Saxons weren't nothing to play with, man.
Wow.
You brought them over for help, and they ended up turning on you, man. Destroyed you with fire and the sword's edge. So, like, read the scripture you're holding. So, Hakim, was you going to say something?
Yeah, I was just going to say that. No wonder why they don't trust us every time they're walking around, turning their head, you know?
It's starting to make sense why they didn't want us fighting in their army, because they're thinking one day these niggas turn on me. They're thinking one day they might realize how weak we are, and they won the war for us, and they might just turn on me.
Mm-hmm.
Really, they know about these records that they make us forget about. They know about all these things that they force us to forget about. So, lucky, go ahead, Benjamin.
Another one, Khan. Book of Numbers, chapter 13 and verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Send thou men, that they may search the land of Canaan.
And listen, man, the Lord told Moses, send men, so that they can search the land of Canaan. And the same thing Hengist and Hosea did is the same thing that them brothers did in the Bible, man. When I searched out the land, same thing, man. Go ahead.
Which I give unto the children of Israel.
Which I give unto the children of Israel. Listen, man, Hengist and Hosea, the Lord didn't give it to them. They took that land, man. They said, damn, well, we don't know the fighting. Let's just take the land. They took that land. And guess what? Black people made England what it is today, man. Because you do know the language they speak today comes from Anglo Saxon language, man.
Is that right?
Anglo Saxon language was Old English with a few Norse words involved, a few Dane words involved. Now they've just modernized it. You do know that all these cities, Anglo Saxons named them. You do know the days of the week, Anglo Saxons named them. Now they was pagans, so they named them after pagan gods. So obviously they named Monday after the moon day, Tuesday after, which one's Tuesday? Trig. Wednesday, Woden, because who they worship was Woden. Thursday, I believe Thursday is 4. Friday, I believe Friday is, I can't even remember, was Friday Frigg or something. Saturday was Saturn's day, Sunday the sun's day. So they was pagans. So the Anglo-Saxons, they named the days of the week in England you have today. So all the days you have today is all named after pagan gods. But obviously over time they just left it stuck. So yeah, whereas obviously in the Bible it was just day 1. Sunday would be day 1. Monday would be day 2. Tuesday would be day 3. That's how it originally was. Go ahead.
If I may, sir, there's a guy named David Thompson on the chat that is saying if I may read it, sir, if you want me to. He's saying the Welsh was the true British before Romans and way before the Saxons. So this got to be
the original Welsh would have been the people of Japhet. So that's true. They would have been the true British. Same like the Japhetic people would have been the true British. But we've came and we've took over. So that's why I said with the Welsh, there was the Japhetic Welsh, and there was also black people that they called Welsh, which meant stranger. So Welsh just meant stranger. So the true Welsh would have been who? The Japhetic people. And then afterwards, once black people started to come in, who the Anglo-Saxons considered strangers, they would call them Welsh as well. But now there's a book we're going to get into a little bit later on if we got time, where it lets you know there's a difference between the fair-skinned Welsh with blue eyes and then the dark-skinned Welsh that they said had big heads and dark skin. So they said they had big heads and there was dark skin. So there was 2 different types of Welsh. And this
not
is why...
Israelites, though. Salakia, sir.
No, the black ones was. The black Welsh.
Oh, right. Okay.
So the Black Welsh would have been Israel. That's what makes a distinction between the two. So Welsh, just remember, Welsh just meant foreigner.
Khan.
So a foreigner could really denote anyone from any race. So just look at it like someone saying, "Oh, black foreigners." That would be the Black Welsh, if you get it.
Right. Yeah. Khan.
When they say Black Welsh, in today's term, you'd say those black foreigners.
Right.
But really, they're the same people. But you call them foreigners in the Bible. What do we call them? Strangers.
Strangers.
Right.
So it's the same thing. The same way we will call them strangers in the Bible. They just call them Welsh or the Black Welsh. Go ahead. Now, Welsh denotes more than one meaning because stranger denotes more than one meaning. A stranger could be your brother that's from a different land. A stranger could be an Edomite. Now, there's a way to differentiate what kind of stranger it is. And with the Welsh, they differentiated which kind of foreigner it was. We'll get to that if we've got time. So, Lucky, go ahead.
Khan. Of every tribe of their fathers shall he send a man.
Jump to verse 7. Actually, go to verse 17.
Khan. Numbers chapter 13, verse 17. And Moses sent them to spy out the land of Canaan, and said
Moses
unto
sent
them
to spy out the land, and Hengist and also called their Saxon brothers to come do the same thing, man. Look at this land we got. We're going to take this land. Go ahead.
And said unto them, Get you up this way southward, and go up into the mountain.
And to go up into the mountain, so we can't see and spy out the land. So everybody gets the point. That's the part that I wanted on that. So they came to spy out the land, same way the Anglo Saxons did. So now we're going to find out. Now the Britons then tried to fight the Anglo Saxons, and some of them were successful, some of them wasn't. So Hakian, I sent you a next one. Read the next one that you have. Now this is a novel book. It's called The Kings and Queens of Anglo-Saxon England.
Can't. Is it all the highlighted parts?
Yeah, the highlighted parts.
Vortigern against the raiding Picts and achieved great success, but outstayed their welcome. Outstayed their welcome. So now, afterwards, he wanted them to go. He's like, all right, enough's enough, man. You niggas need to go, man. You've outstayed your welcome. Go ahead. Kadwan Khan brought in their countrymen and eventually revolted against their employer.
They did what?
They eventually revolted against their employer.
They revolted against their employer, man. So they came in and they revolted against their employer. Go ahead.
Was it Bede?
Yeah, Bede.
Bede's story agrees with that of Gildas. 540 on the summoning of the treachery to Vortigern by the Germanic mercenaries. But did his Kentish sources obtain the story from the copy of Gildas' book or from their own local oral history? Quran Khan, the various versions of the Anglo-Saxon chronicles, late 9th century, agreed that Hengist and Horsa were brought in during the reign of Marcian and Valentinian in 449 to 50 to 450 to 455 to 456 to defeat the Picts, but revolted.
And now they came to this. Go ahead.
Salakia, but revolted and seized their own kingdom. Do you want me to read that again, sir? Or
Salakia, go ahead. I'm just trying to highlight the book at the same time. Salakia, go ahead.
Shall I go to the next highlighted or carry on?
Read from the next highlight.
Can't, sir. This dates the Saxons' arrival as 428, 3 years into Vortigern's reign, and had Hengist arriving with 3 ships to fight the Picts.
So now this
And
is letting
being-
you know Hengist came with 3 ships to fight the Picts. Go ahead.
Karon Khan, and being granted land at Rhyme River, Salakia.
The Rhine. So that river is the one that they crossed. They crossed the Rhine to get into England from Germany. Go ahead.
Who's they? The Saxons.
Yeah, the Saxons. So they crossed the
Gotcha.
Rhine to get to Germany. Go ahead.
Right. The Rhyme, River Island, river surrounded Thanet in Kent. Is that in Kent, other one? Salakia,
Yeah,
that
it's
same
in
river?
Kent. Yeah.
Khan.
Hold on, wait a minute. Let me hold on. Actually, go ahead, keep reading. I'm just trying to highlight a certain
Karon
part.
Khan. The date is 20 years before Bede's. In due course, Hengist persuades Vortigern to allow him to bring in 16 more ships, and his daughter
So
Rowan.
now he persuades Salakia. What's his name? Vortigern. He
Vortigern,
persuades. Yeah. Go ahead.
Salakia, so you cut out there, Salakia.
All right. So he persuades Vortigern. To let him bring in 16 more ships. Go ahead.
Karon Khan, and his daughter Rowena, with whom the king becomes besotted.
Mm-hmm.
Hengist arranges their marriage and is granted Kent. 40 more ships arrive under his son Octa and their kingsmen. His kingsmen Abissa, and are sent north. The Saxon revolt follows, with Hengist and Horsa being driven back to Thanet 3 times by Vortigern's son Vortimer and besieged there. A long war occurs with the main battles of the campaign at Salakia. What's that word, Salakia?
Just skip it because I ain't got that book open in front of me.
Episford or Rithen Salakia. I'm gonna have to move that. Horsford.
Hold on. Someone online said, "Hello, I am an ex-London Museum curator. I would like you to show proof in regards to what you said in regards to the ancient Welsh being Jews, Israelites. I will wait patiently. Thank you." Well, it's not going to say that the Israelites, but I can show you that there was black. Hold on. Let me start with this right here. First of all, let me show you that the Anglo Saxons was black. So here it says, this is another book. It's called Origin of the Anglo-Saxon Race. It says there is another old word used by the Anglo-Saxons to denote black or brown black. The word swart, the personal names Swart and Swart, may have been derived from this word and may have originally denoted people of a dark brown or black complexion. Some names of this kind are mentioned in the Doomsday Record of Buckinghamshire and Lincolnshire. These may be of Scandinavian origin, for the ekname or nickname Zwarti is found in the Northern sagas. So now that's where Swarthy comes from, the Anglo-Saxon word, Swarth. Why? Because the Anglo-Saxons was black. Let's read on. It says, and may have been the people who have left the Anglo-Saxon name Blackman, Berg, which occurs in one of the charters, Blackman Stone on the Kentish coast, Blackman Stone on the Dorset coast, as late of the times of Doomsday Survey. We meet with records of people apparently named after their dark complexions. So now the Anglo-Saxons was named after their dark complexions. Now you're not going to see where it says Athelstan was an Israelite, but you're going to see it said there was black with dark complexions. Like this world doesn't tell us that we're Israelites, but we know we're Israelites. And
That's
they was
right.
also Israelites. That's why they was black with dark complexions. Who came from where? All over Europe. And that's why when you look all throughout Europe, there's so much black nobility, so much black royals. Hold on, let me read some more. Dark complexions in Buckinghamshire, black men, swartiness and others are mentioned in Sussex, one named Black, in Suffolk, Black Menace and Swartingus, and others at Lincoln. Says the invasion of the coast of the British Isles by Vikings of a dark or black complexion rests on historical evidence, which is too circumstantial to admit of doubt. in the Irish annals, the Black Vikings are called Dob Gentis or Black Gentiles. So even some of the people that was invading these islands was black also. Now, obviously, Vikings could be anybody. Not all Vikings are Israelites, but now the Danes and the Norsemen, the Normans, them ones would have been Israelites. Hold on, let me get you the book where it mentions Wales. I'm gonna send the page to the brother so I can have him read it. Hold on, bear with me. Bear with me. Okay, so he wants me to stay on topic. Hold on, give me 1 second. Let me see which part I want. Hold on, let me find it. Hold on. All right, so wait a minute. Let me highlight it so I can send you this, so I can send one of these to use like to read it. Give me 1 second.
Constant.
All right, so now let me send the picture. 1 sec, Hakian, I'm going to send you these. All right.
All right, cut on constant.
He said stay on topic, so I'm going to stay on topic. All right, go ahead. So he said he knows the Danes are black. So let's see about the black Welshmen. Go ahead.
Nkoro Khan. Specimens of these.
I'll go back to the that's the second page. Go back to the first page. Go to that one after, because that's the continuation.
Cancer. When we examine the evidence in this country, we find precisely the same class of proof. At the time when Wales was conquered by the Romans, we find that Tacitus described a certain small, dark Iberian population.
So now this Iberian population, I believe this is like the Spanish and whatnot. Go ahead.
Kadwan Khan, which I have named. At the present time, you have merely to go into the marketplaces.
So the backdrop of this is a man was giving a lecture, and this is his findings of his lecture. Go ahead.
Of Saint Asaph or Denboy. I think that's what it is. Denboy.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. And you will see small, dark Welshmen.
Wait, you see what?
Small, dark Welshmen.
Says you'll see small, dark Welshmen. So who are these small, dark Welshmen? Read on. We're going to read on. Go ahead.
Kadwan Khan, with black eyes and hair, contrasting in every point with our ordinary ideas of Welshmen. We find traces of these small dark people in the Highlands of Scotland.
So now they also found these small dark people in the Highlands of Scotland. Where was King James from? Scotland, who was also a black man. Go ahead.
Here and there, one meets with what is called a dark Highlander.
A dark Highlander. Those dark-skinned black men in Scotland and those dark-skinned black men who were called Welshmen. Read on. Go ahead.
A small, black, long-headed man, quite frequent physically, quite Salakia. A small, black, long-headed man.
A small what?
a small, black, long-headed man.
So it says a small, black, long-headed man. So who are these small black people? If these small black people ain't us, who are they? Because who are black people on the face of the earth? We the black people, man. Nobody else ain't considered black. So if these small black men ain't us, who are these small black men? Read on.
Karawan Khan. He said something else as well, sir. But I'll read on, sir.
Go ahead. All right, then. So you said, all right. So you said, the Welsh have dark skin. So what's the problem? So if you know the Welsh have dark skin, what's the problem? Because here it said the Welsh was black men. So where do we go from there? Like, who are these black men? If these black Welshmen ain't us. Oh, so Bergman, do you agree with me or do you disagree that there was black Welshmen? So do you agree or? All right, you said prove the Welsh were Jews. I just proved it to you by the Welsh being black men. And now, if you're saying these Welsh ain't Israelites, who are these dark-skinned men then? Who are they? Who are these black Welshmen if they're not Israelites? Who are they? All right, so you agree the Welsh were black. What was their nationality? Hold on, Bergman, let me ask you a question. Do you agree that me and the two brothers you see on the screen, do you agree that they're Jews or no? So do you agree that me and the two brothers on the screen, are we Jews or no? That's what I want to know. Are we Jews or no? See, now he said they're the original Britons. All right, so now we're going to blow him out the water. Keep reading.
Karawan Khan.
Hold on, wait a minute. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see what I want. What I want might be on the other page. Hold on. Bear with me 1 second.
Council.
Hold on. Bear with me 1 second. Hold on. Hold on. All right, hold on. I think I may have found it. Give me 1 second.
Council. He's saying now, are the dark-skinned Africans Jews too? Because they also have dark skin.
See, now he's being simple. At first, black people weren't the Welshmen. Now he's trying to say that, listen, man, why don't you just admit you didn't know that was black Welshmen? Why don't you just why can't you admit that there was black Welshmen? He's saying, are the dark-skinned Africans Jews too? Because they also have dark skin. Okay, then. So tell me who these dark Welshmen was. If you're saying they wasn't the Israelites, you need to tell me who there was. That's all I'm asking you. I'm telling you the Israelites. You need to tell me who it was. Now, obviously, you're not going to find a book which says the Israelites. Why? Because they've stripped our nationality from us. Go speak to the average black man. He don't know he's an Israelite. Listen. I can't... Listen. Tupac's the Israelite. Are you going to find it in writing that Tupac was an Israelite, or is it going to say it's African-American? Stop being so simple, man. Obviously, you're not going to see it in writing that these Welshmen was Israelites. Why? Because at this time, they didn't even care about that. They just considered it. They weren't even following the law, statutes, and commandments. Same like most of our people today. You speak to the average person, the black person, they don't even know nothing about Israelites. So obviously, these Welshmen ain't going to be going around saying there was Israelites. What do we call ourselves today? Black. What was these Welshmen called black? It's not hard, man. Ain't hard to connect the dots. So, okay, go ahead, Hakian.
Karawan Khan. A small, black, long-headed man, quite different physically from one's idea of a Highlander.
See, so I said this man was different to one's idea of a Highlander. Go ahead.
So in the southern parts of Ireland, we meet with a race of people identical with the small, dark Welshman.
With the what?
Small, dark Welshman.
With the small, dark Welshman? Hold on, wait. Let me ask him a next question. All right, so the Stuarts were black. Was the Stuarts Israelites? Before we read on, was the Stuarts Israelites? So F. Bergman, you said the Stuarts was black. Was the Stuarts Israelites, yes or no? Hold on, let me wait for him to answer. Line up, let me line up the clock. Was the Stuarts Israelites?
Look like he's afraid to answer, sir.
That's it. Okay, so you said there was black. Was the Israelites, yes or no? See, there's no proof the Stuarts are Jews. See, this is how you know these this is how you know these Welshmen were Israelites, man. Now he's saying now he's doubting if King James was an Israelite. All right, then. So who are the Israelites? Who are the Israelites according to you then? Tell me who the Israelites according to you. He said prove King James was black. A minute ago he said King James was black. Now he's saying prove King James was black. See here, you said look, you said Israelites are scattered all over the world. Yeah, I know this, and them. You know, I can read on. He's not even answering my question.
Yeah, he's a joker, man. He's a joker.
Yeah, what is he thought it was going to come in here? We didn't have no books, so didn't know what we was on about.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Listen, we'll call you the history book and the Bible.
So lucky, so I'm just okay. Specimens of these small dark Welshmen, Scotchmen.
So specimen. Wait, hold on. It says specimens of these small dark Welshmen. Let's see what it says about these small dark Welshmen. Go ahead.
And Irishmen and Iberian.
Like you go to Scotchmen.
Khan. Specimens of
actually,
these small
read it from the specimens part. Actually, read it from the specimens part.
Khan. Specimens of these small dark Welshmen, Scotsmen, and Irishmen, and Iberian.
Specimens of these small dark Welshmen, Scotchmen, and Iberians. Go ahead. Let's see what it says.
From the Western Pyrenees, and dress them alike.
So it said if you take these, it says if you took a Welshman, a Scotchman, and an Irishman, and the Iberians, and you dress them alike, meaning you dress them the same. Go ahead.
I don't think you would be able to tell one from another.
Ooh.
Later.
Listen, man. Verge, man, you have to do something about that, man. He said if they took a Scotchman, an Irishman, and these small dark Welshmen and dressed them the same, you wouldn't be able to tell them one from another. Why? Because there was all black men who was Israelites, man. They said if you dressed them the same, you wouldn't be able to tell them one from another, which is letting you know these black Welshmen was Israelites, man. Now, is there anything else that can help you? Oh, he already said they are black. So listen, what I'm saying to you is, if they're black but they're not the Israelites, who are the Israelites according to you? Help me out. You give me some history now. Now you tell me who the Israelites are now. So now you tell me who the Israelites are. He's not going to answer. Anyway, all right, Israelites are scattered. All right, what's the Israelites' nationality? What do they look like? All right, what's their nationality and what do they look like? what's their nationality and what do they look like? He goes, do I believe I'm a Jew? How yeah? I don't believe I'm a Jew. I know I'm a Jew.
That's right.
I don't listen. I know I'm a Jew. So now help me out. What do the Israelites look like? All right, so the Israelites are brown skinned. All right, so you said the Israelites are brown skinned, and I said to you that the Welshman and the Scottish, it says that they was black. So would they qualify as what the Israelites look like according to you? Yes or no? We're gonna do this the slow way. So do they qualify as what the Israelites look like according to you? Yes or no? Hold on, I'm looking for it.
I think he's taking the Salakia.
He said the Israelites were brown, and okay, the Israelites were brown, and what color are the Anglo Saxons? So he said the Israelites are brown. What color was the Anglo Saxons? So let me read this to help you out. You said the Israelites were brown. Let me read this to you. There is another old word used by the Anglo Saxons to denote black or brown, black. The word swart. The personal names swart and swart may have been derived from this word and may have originally denoted people of a dark brown or black complexion. Do the Anglo Saxons, does their complexion match the complexion of what you say the Israelites look like? I'm gonna go slow with them. Does it match? Yes or no? So like you say something, Haki, and I think the sound's cut off.
No, I'm here, sir. I'm just waiting, sir. Salakia, are you talking to me or the one?
Say something, Haki.
Khan, 1 2 1 2. Mic test. Mic check. Mic check. 1 2.
Hold on, I think the sound's come off. Say something. Let me see if I can hear.
Khan, sir.
Awesome. Oh yeah, I can hear.
Yeah.
All right, so now he said the Israelites are brown. Now he's saying they're not Jews. So all right, the Anglo-Saxons don't match the description of the Jews. This is what I'm saying. This guy's all over the place. He's all over the place, man. He's all over the place. It said the Anglo-Saxons was brown and dark complexion. You said the Israelites were of brown complexion. So now, let me show you this book real quick. You're saying we're the Israelites. These right here is Israelites. Can you see that? Can you see that?
Khan, we can see that, sir.
All right, so that's Jonah, it's Hosea, it's David, and I believe, hold on, who's the last one? Let me check. It's Daniel, Hosea, and Jonah and King David. So now, do they not look like us?
Right.
Exactly, and the Anglo-Saxons was that same complexion, which is letting you know them Anglo-Saxons was black, man. There was Israelites
That's right.
also.
Listen,
You can't get around it, man. You can't get around it, man. Anyway, where was we?
Khan, we just finished the highlighted reading about the Black Welsh, and you wouldn't be able to tell the difference between the Scottish, the Irish, the Liberian, and the Welsh if they put on the same clothing.
Listen, man, if they put on the same clothing, they said they wouldn't be able to tell the difference. Hold on, let me see what else I want.
And if I may, sir.
So, like you say that again.
If I may, sir, he hasn't even answered your question either. if they weren't Israelites, who were they?
Listen, he's all over the place. This is what he said. He goes, that was a painting in the Renaissance. Listen, you dummy. This picture's from the Dark Ages, before the Renaissance period. You dummy. You don't understand nothing, man. Listen, don't try and speak to me about history. I know everything, you know nothing, man. He said to me, this was a painting during the Renaissance. The Renaissance was when they was painting everybody white, you dummy. You don't understand history, man. This is why you need to be quiet and sit in these classes. He said that was a painting in the Renaissance. What year? What year was the Renaissance? Tell me what year was the Renaissance? What year was the Renaissance? He ain't gonna answer because this picture was painted in what? In the year 1100, before the Renaissance, man. Before the Renaissance. So now, let's go to. Hold on. Let's get one more before we wrap up. Hold on. Let me see which one I want now. Give me 1 second. Give me Revelation chapter 12 and verse 16. And then if anything, we'll do part 2 next week.
You want to get that Benjamin?
Canada on count, sir.
Water, man.
Revelation chapter 12 and verse 16. And the earth helped the woman.
And the what?
And the earth helped the woman.
And the earth helped the woman, man. The earth helped the woman. And what's the earth? Archaeology, history, all of those kind of things. The earth helped the woman. Go ahead.
And the earth opened up her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth.
And what did the dragon cast out of his mouth? The flood of lies, man. The dragon cast out of his mouth a flood of lies. And the earth swallowed up the flood by giving us the archaeology, the history, so we can find out who we are, where we ruled, all of those kind of things. Go ahead.
Salakia, sir.
No, sir.
And verse 17, and the dragon was wroth with the woman.
And the dragon was rough with the woman, man. The dragon was mad with the woman. And everybody's mad when we bring back these archaeology, but it said these little black Welshmen. And now you see these little black Welshmen. That's where the house of Tudor came from, man. Because the house of Tudor was a Welsh family. That's where they came from, man. The house of Tudor it came from them black men that was ruling down there in Wales. That's where the house of Tudor came from. But obviously next week we're gonna go into we're gonna finish off this, and then obviously we're gonna go into the Norman conquest with William the Conqueror, how they came and overthrew the Saxons, and then obviously the week after that we're going to the Plantagenets and all of those kind of things. And with that, clap it up. We're gonna do the security announcements. So we are here.
Yeah, that heavy class, heavy.
Listen, Most High in Christ.
Heavy with the knowledge there, so that was banging.
Most High in Christ.
Salakia, sir. I did have one precept that I wanted to share with you.
Yeah, go ahead.
It was Malachi 1 and verse 3. And I hated Esau and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness.
And the Lord hated Esau, man. The Lord loves us and hates Esau. And Esau is just a mass murderer of the planet. He kills everything. He kills the trees, the birds. Listen, man, the only way the birds get to live is if this man's in chains, man. The only way everything gets to live is if this man's in chains. The last time people saw peace was during the Dark Ages, man, when they was in their rightful position. When they was in their rightful position, everyone was the earth was well, everyone was flourishing, everyone was doing good.
That's
until
right.
This man did what? Came up, conquered us and killed everything. And that's where we are today. And that's why we need to get in class, get in the ISUPK, serve the Lord. So what? The Lord will come with that chain, put on the oppressor again, man. So he can go in the bottomless pit forever this
That's
time.
right.
Went in there for 1,000 years the first time during the Dark Ages. Hopefully this time he goes in that bottomless pit forever, man.
That's right.
To be chained up forever, so the birds can live, so the trees can live, so everything can live, man. And that's gonna happen. And what we doing what? Helping bringing forth this kingdom by serving the Lord, man. By teaching our brothers who they actually are.
Right.
Our brothers don't know that the Israelites. You don't know that you're the greatest thing on the face of the earth. They don't know this. That's why it's our job to go out there and teach them with these classes and everything that we do. And I can see by the comment section is real upset. Is real upset. But go ahead. Was there any more in that, Benjamin?
No, sir. Verse 4. Whereas Edom said, we are impoverished.
Go ahead.
But will return and build the desolate places.
And they said we'll return and build the desolate places, man. They said this when they left Britain, they said we'll return, but them Anglo Saxons didn't allow them to return.
That's right.
Ever to return, man. Them Anglo Saxons reigned over England, gave it new names, destroyed all the Roman cities. Listen, man, the Lord is about to destroy this place, man.
Right.
He's about to destroy everything that the oppressors built. He's about to destroy all, and it's only right, man. It needs to be destroyed, man. This whole place needs to be destroyed so righteous people can rule under Christ, man, Christ's kingdom. And we're bringing forth that kingdom in the ISUPK on the commanding general.
That's right,
go
sir.
ahead.
Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down.
They're going to build, the Lord's going to throw down, man. Same like back in the days, they built in Britain, they called it Romano Britain. They built in Romano Britain. The Anglo Saxons came and threw it down and burnt down their cities, man. They burnt down their cities, got rid of their religion, enslaved their children that they left in Britain. Listen, man, the same thing is going to happen all over again. Go ahead.
And they shall call them the border of wickedness.
They shall call them the border of wickedness, man. This man is the epitome of wickedness. If you want to know what wickedness is, look no further than the oppressor.
Right.
Just look at history, how he's murdered everybody, slaughtered everybody. They're the border of wickedness, man. Nobody has been more wicked than this man. Go ahead.
And the people against whom the Lord has indignation forever.
People who the Lord has indignation against forever, man. The Lord is going to destroy them, and there's nowhere for them to run. There's nowhere for them to turn. All they can do is enjoy their little bit of freedom, man.
Right.
The Bible says he shall be loosed for a little season. And that's why he's wreaking all this havoc, because he knows he has a little season. He knows he has a little season to wreak all the havoc on the face of the earth. Why? Because soon that chain is coming again, man. And the bottomless pit is going to be open, and the chain is going to be around them, and they're going back into that bottomless pit.
That's right.
That's it on that, sir.
That's it. He's saying he wants to debate now. He goes, no, you ain't going to answer. He wants to debate. He goes, debate. Listen, anyway, clap it up. We're at the end of the class. You ain't getting no debate out of us. You ain't even worthy. You couldn't answer no question. You couldn't answer no question. You said the Welsh was Edomites. We showed you that those Black Welsh people. Listen, man. Go ahead.
So like it's a lady on the chat here, Jen Edigley. Hi, can I ask a question, please? She's saying.
Go ahead. You're going to have to be quick. We're up on the time. Go ahead. What's your question? Let me give her a minute.
So like, yes, sir. And we read earlier on that the word Welsh, it was the Saxons that gave that the name with term meaning stranger. Which
actually, you know what, Jen, go ahead. We'll get your question. Go ahead. We'll get your question. Don't worry. Go ahead. Ask your question. Don't worry. We'll get it. Slaki Banyamin. Go ahead. Yeah,
Councillor, I was saying earlier on, we read that the Saxons gave the name Welsh, which means foreigner. And you know, we, based on context, it could be anyone. It could be also another Saxon.
Exactly, and that's why we showed him Black Welsh, and he wanted to ignore it.
You can't. He didn't have nothing, sir. Because if it wasn't Jews,
exactly.
If it wasn't Jews, then he should have proved that what they were. If there wasn't,
this is what he said. So he said the Jews are brown complexion. So we showed him the Anglo Saxons was brown complexion. We showed him the Black Welsh was brown complexion. But what he's saying is the Israelites are brown complexion, but these men that we're showing them with brown complexion in the records, he said that them ones are Jews, but these ones ain't. She goes, all right, I was listening to you earlier, and you said you knew you were a Jew. How do you knew? No. All right, give me Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68.
All right, then. That's how we're doing it.
All right, Jen, we're going to get your question. All right. So this is Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68.
Deuteronomy 28, verse 68.
Jen, can I ask Jen, can I ask what is your nationality? Can you just type it in the chat? Go ahead.
Deuteronomy 28:68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
So Egypt, it means bondage. It says it shall bring you into Egypt again with ships. So now, who went on slave ships? The Lord's letting go to verse, hold on. Give me 27:1. Deuteronomy, hold that, but give me Deuteronomy 27:1 so we can be clear who he's talking about.
Deuteronomy chapter 27 and verse 1. And Moses with the elders of Israel commanded the people.
So now Moses was with the elders of Israel. So now is letting the Israelites know what's going to happen to them. Now, once you go to Deuteronomy 28, first 15 verses is the blessings if you listen to the Lord. And then after that is the punishments. All right, then what are you mixed with? What is your father? It doesn't matter about what your mother is. What is your father? It's lucky. Now read Deuteronomy 28 and verse 68.
Deuteronomy 28:68. And the Lord shall bring thee again into Egypt again with ships.
So just remember, Egypt means bondage. Go ahead. Because we was in Egypt at one stage. Egypt is the house of bondage. Go ahead.
By the way thereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
As a nation, we ain't going to see our homeland all together again. Go ahead.
And there ye shall be sold
unto
your enemies. And
there ye shall be sold unto your enemies. It says, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies. So we were sold by our enemies. All right, she goes, their fathers from Nigeria, Yoruba. Okay, then, so according to the Bible, you would be a Hamite. You would not be an Israelite. Now, the people who sold us would be your people who sold the Israelites. So you would be a Hamite according to the Bible. You would not be the children of Israel. Why? Because Nigerians didn't go into slavery. Nigerians done the selling of black people into slavery. Ghanaians done the selling of black people into slavery. That's why you have the door of no return in Ghana. Because they sold Israelites for muskets and handkerchiefs and all of those kind of things. Go ahead.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen. Go ahead.
And bondswoman.
And Jen, this is how I know why. Because my forefathers was sold for bondmen and bondwomen. And the Lord said to the Israelites.
Right.
So that's how I know I'm an Israelite. Why? Because my forefathers was sold for bondmen and bondwomen. Meanwhile, yours wasn't. Yours lived a nice life in Nigeria, where the population is 292 million Nigerians. You lived a good life, whereas my people were sold to the West Indies, man, to pick cotton and sugarcane and killed and murdered in all types of ways, and oppressed and lied to and beat down and have another language forced upon them. That's how I know I'm an Israelite, because we discontinued from our heritage, whereas you can tell me your father is from the tribe of Yoruba. Now, when I speak to my fathers, they can't tell me where they're from. Why? Because they was discontinued from their heritage.
That's right.
That's how I know I'm an Israelite. Anyway, with that brings us to the end of the class. We're going to do the security announcement because we're out of here. All right, we had the ISUPK started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Roof new brother sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will call each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers chapter 18 through 21. Malachi chapter 3 and 8 through 10. Ma'ashra, it means 10%. It means 10th in the Hebrew. Of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, gives to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will for priest. Free will offering for priests, not mandatory whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations. December 7th, we have the Feast of Dedication. It will be held at 394 Lodge Road, B18 5PW. Contact the school for more information. Remind Akim and Akbaf to check the bulletin board in the hallway. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black, boot, shirt, pants, headbands, and scarf. With the Akim, we're going to stand and we're going to give one courtesy salute. All right, man, Israel. I Madyam Shabbat. I Madyam Barak. Yahaba Shem Yahshua.
Yahba Shem Yahshua.
Yab Yam Mata. Class dismissed.
Heavy class, sir. Heavy.
Most in Christ, I appreciate it. All right, for what Akim again, we'll be here tomorrow for the scripture breakdown class, 7 p.m. till 9. Tomorrow you can get all your questions answered. We'll be here 7 p.m. till 9. All right, Shalom, Israel.
Shalom.
Most in Christ.
Shalom, Lord of Christ. Shalom, Lord of Christ.